Welcome to Hi, It's Me, Same Genes, Different Scenes. I'm Kim.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're here to bring you our podcast about everything which makes us and our friends, family and special guests the same but wonderfully different.
We hope you love listening to our stories and insights into our experiences, from how we viewed growing up to the direction life has taken us in adulthood.
Hi.
Hello. How are you? Happy?
I'm good. Happy. Because, drum roll, finally got a fucking job.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yes. Oh, so relieved after like 6 months of not having a job, basically.
6 months of being a bum.
6 months of, being a bum.
Being a fun bum.
A fun bum, but proactively seeking employment following redundancy. Yes. So very relieved, very happy. The crystals worked. Let's just say.
They did.
They did.
And
actually a little bit of a follow on, I guess, from the last pod when we were obviously talking about crystals and other bits
manifesting
and other bits and bobs, because so I had 2 interviews last week, and for both of them I had my crystals in my bra, obviously, but I was really lucky because they were Teams interviews, so I was obviously like able to get ready at home and then not have to like be travelling and all that stress. And I made sure I set aside a bit of time. I did like a really short 10-minute meditation. And I did we didn't talk about it last time, but some emotional freedom. It sounds really weird. The tapping.
We talked about that before.
We didn't talk about it in the last
episode.
No.
We have talked about
no. So EFT, it's emotional tapping, emotional freedom technique. And there's a guy, Tap with Brad. And so he does like really short, like between 5 and 10 minute taps. And they're linked to like acupressure points on your face and like there's collarbones and that. So I did a short meditation and I did a short tapping, Tap with Brad. He had one that was like about feeling nervous, basically. Right. So it's tapping and like some affirmations. Yeah. And I genuinely felt relaxed. Yeah. Like going into the interview. So I did it like just before, like 10 minutes before the interview or something. Yeah. And I did find that they were really helpful.
But you had technical difficulties as one of them as well, though.
Oh,
and
God.
You managed to like still be like...
I did. So the first one, I had to do a presentation. And so where I'm using my tablet, it's really difficult to share the screen. And it was like, can't do it. And it's gone. And anyway, So it was really good. I felt like positive going into the interviews. And so that was really helpful. I was like, okay, this is good. Yeah. And then I got offered both of them. Yeah. Which is... obviously really nice feeling, and have accepted one. Yeah. So really pleased. But also on that same kind of thread, the week before I had another interview. And I'd had like an initial call with a hiring manager, which went really, really well. It was all really positive. Had this interview that was like a one-on-one, an hour. And I had done the same. I had the crystals, I did the meditation, I did the tapping, and I went in and I felt really good and really positive. And I didn't get that job. And actually it was very similar to a role that I've done before. The money was really good. Like I would have been like, okay, this is, I'm set and I can do whatever, not whatever, but the money was really, really good. There was like a car allowance. It was like, wow. But the holiday wasn't very good. It was like bare minimum almost. And I before I'd had the interview, I had been chatting to several people, you, and I said at least 3 or 4 other people, this job's like the money's really good, it's everything like this, but I distinctly said I'd be happier with less money and more holiday, because obviously, I've got my van, I like to go off and do stuff. Yeah. And I didn't get that job. And the job that I have got is less money, but it's more holiday. Yeah. And so, in some ways I've been thinking a lot about that, and almost like I was telling the universe what I wanted,
you manifested
and
it.
that's what it gave me. So I was gutted when I didn't get that job, but then, you know, I kind of had a bit of time to reflect, and I was like, I got what I asked the universe for in, you know, this roundabout kind of way. So yeah, super.
And the job actually that you're doing is really like it was sort of the role, not the role, what you're doing is what you wanted to do, isn't
Yes.
it? That was like really interesting to you.
Yes.
What you wanted.
Yeah. So it's like back in academia. The project is like, sounds really interesting, like, and really like some meaningful research.
Yeah, that's it.
And that is much more aligned with, you know, what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the other job would have been like amazing money, but it would have been amazingly stressful, I know.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of the same shit
Yeah.
that I've had previously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So not I don't think as enjoyable in general. So yeah, I'm grateful to all the things that have helped. Yeah.
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 Because we're quite different in our work lives, aren't we, in our careers?
Yes.
So you went to university, got your degree. I did not.
No.
Went straight into work from like 17.
Yeah.
I think 17.
Yeah.
Sort of did. When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher.
Did you?
Yeah, I wanted to be a teacher. I did my work experience at primary school.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to do when I was younger, was be a teacher.
Why do you think you didn't?
Because I didn't appreciate education enough when I was in it. So I did my A-levels, started my A-levels, and was really enjoying them, actually. And I don't really know why I quit. I quit my A-levels to do a computer course because 30 odd years ago, that was like an emerging working in IT and computers. So I thought that would be a useful thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was boring. So I saw a job advertised as an office junior.
Yeah.
And it was earning £6,000 a year.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, I've got to have this job. I'm going to be earning £6,000 a year. Yeah, and I got it.
Yeah.
And
But
actually,
you enjoyed it.
I really loved it.
Yeah.
It was I really did love it. Yeah, so that was good for me, but I just sort of did fall into that then, like the events and marketing-y sort of side of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I came to that via cleaning boats. Did you clean the boats as well?
Oh, I didn't clean the boats, but I think we're very similar in, I would say, our like work ethic. Like we both had jobs when we were like young.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think, when did you start? Was that your first job?
Well, I did babysitting.
Yeah.
I did a bit of babysitting for a while, and then I started cleaning the boats when I was like 15.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. So I think I started waitressing when I was like 14.
Yeah.
So I'd say we're similar in that respect, in that, you know, when we as teenagers we started work in some degree, like early, and have, you know, worked.
Yeah, because I remember, so obviously I cleaned the boats, and then I got a job in Waitrose on the deli counter.
Right,
and I loved that. That was, and I used to work on a Friday night, which was a really good shift to work. So actually, it was really quiet. Nobody come into Waitrose, so it was great.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I worked an evening shift as well.
What, like in the week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so good. And I remember I was working there when so I was at college working there, and then obviously I had this interview for TMB.
Yeah.
And obviously, and got the job, and I was like, that's great, but I do have to give 4 weeks notice.
Right, okay, for
at Waitrose.
Yeah.
So, which was ridiculous, really, because I was working in an evening and a Saturday.
Yeah.
so
4 weeks is quite... Yeah.
And the boss, I remember Bob, the big boss, came into Waitrose.
Right.
And do you remember Mr. Webb, who was the manager at Waitrose at the time?
No.
Came in and had a chat with Mr. Webb and said, could she come out of her 4 weeks notice so she could come and work for me? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and he let me, and he said, yeah, it's fine. Don't really know why you're asking, because she only works an evening and a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think having that when you're younger, you do some like you do random jobs. I
Mm.
mean, like boat cleaning.
Yeah.
I guess I did like cleaning offices. So I waitressed on a Saturday, and then when I was at college, I cleaned offices.
Yeah.
Which was like 3 evenings a week.
Yeah.
And that was like,
as a 17-year-old, cleaning offices is quite like a. It's it is a responsible job, isn't it? But it's quite like you were sort of proper. It was like a proper job, wasn't it?
Well, actually,
It's a proper job.
It was a proper job, and actually, I was thinking about it because it was a massive office on Hithercroft. It was a computer company, and it was like, it was full on. It was like empty the dishwasher, clean the kitchen, do hoover all the floors. I had to do shredding. They had like 4 toilets. I had to clean all the toilets and then do all the desks. And at the time, they were supposed to have like 2 people working on it, because obviously it was a lot. And we did it in 2. We had like 2 hours basically to clean. And I remember towards the end, the woman that basically was supposed to be cleaning with me was shit, and she just didn't used to turn up, and so I would be cleaning on my own, so literally running around like a blue ass fly. But then I would have to like set the alarm and lock up, so I had a lot of responsibility, and I can't remember what I got paid. I think it was like £6 an hour or something. But I guess those kind of jobs, they do give you an appreciation of like working for your money. And I mean, I've done some. I worked in a pen factory.
Do you know what? We've had this. Well, we haven't had this conversation before. We did that little funny 2 truths and a lie thing.
Oh yeah.
And I thought the pen factory was the lie.
No. When I was at university, and I stayed one of the summers, I think it was my last summer, I stayed down in Brighton, and I worked in a pen factory in Peacehaven, I think. And I used to get in a minibus in the morning and get taken to this pen factory. It was a Parker pen factory. So I was sat on a production line with like a conveyor belt, and I would pull bits off, and like the fountain pens you get in a pack, I'd be like boxing them up. And that was, I mean it was very mind-numbing. But there was a lady there who had worked there like her entire life, and she absolutely, and it was like a proper clock in, clock out, you know. And I was like, I'm quite glad I'm not going to have to do this like forever. But it's like, work is a very, like, you have to do it, don't you? And you do what you need to do to get by.
Yeah, because obviously I have one child who is a worker.
Yes.
One
oh my
of
God,
them
she's
is
a Trojan.
She is. She's amazing. She's just a real grafter.
Yeah.
And another who is not a worker.
Slightly work shy.
Incredibly work shy, I would say. Won't get a job because there's no need.
I mean, they will have to. They're going to have a bit of a harsh reality check at some point.
Absolutely. I think that will be very soon, given the current circumstances.
Yeah. But I think definitely at the moment I've been thinking a lot of things, like work or lack of work's been like dominating my thoughts, and I think it's interesting how like how much importance we place on work, and how it makes us feel. I think for me, because I am on my own and I don't have kids, like work has been like part of my identity and how I see myself, and like my success almost is like how, not how much I'm earning, but like that I'm in a job that I'm really proud of,
and that you're good at,
and so definitely like being made redundant and not having a job was, so then for me that was like a really huge thing, and really had a massive impact on like my mental health. But now getting this job, I feel like, I mean, I'm really pleased, and I've obviously, I'm going to be getting some money in, but maybe it's made me think that it doesn't have to be something that is my identity anymore. Like, it's important because I have to pay the bills and I'm paying them on my own, but actually it's not who I am.
No. Well, it's like the lady that worked in the pen factory all her life and she really loved it.
Yeah.
That's just, you know.
Yeah. She was happy. She was like always smiling and like laughing, and she, you know, knew everybody and made lots of friends and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that because I obviously, as I said, I haven't got a degree, didn't go to university, went straight into a job.
Yeah.
And was working from the age of 17 until I was 24.
Yeah.
And then I had Lily.
Yeah.
And being in that kind of role, so it was events, obviously going off for
you used to, I was going to say you used to go away quite a lot, didn't you?
So I didn't feel
around the country.
Yeah, that was something I could go back to doing when I had Lily.
Yeah.
So I gave that up. And
is that because you think like the role they wouldn't have been able to accommodate that, or for you that you wouldn't have wanted to have done that?
Well, so one of my friends had a baby before me, and she went back to work there.
Right. Okay.
And
so in terms of like the company supporting that role.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I just didn't think it would have worked. Piers working full time.
Yeah.
Me being away.
Yeah.
Just didn't see how it was going to work. Me going back. So obviously, so that, and I sort of fell off. Can't think of the right word, to sort of faded away slightly in that was what I was doing. I was doing events and I was really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then I then sort of said to myself, I can't get another events job because I've got Lily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt a bit like I can't think what I'm trying to express. Like I felt like I'd sort of lost my career and my career path.
Yeah. Okay.
By having her.
Right.
So I was earning decent money.
Yeah.
Before I had her.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 20 odd years ago. So decent money back then.
Yeah.
And so obviously after I had her, I went and worked for adult learning. But again, I loved that.
Yeah.
That was just admin. I loved the ladies that was part-time.
Around.
Totally fit around the kids.
How long did you have off? Like after you'd had Lily, obviously you have like a standard maternity leave, but did you go back straight away?
No, I didn't. So I didn't. So I had Lily, had my year off as maternity, and then said I'm not coming back.
Right.
So I handed my notice in after the year.
Right. Okay.
And then I didn't go back to work until I was pregnant with Alfie.
Right.
So I think Lily must have been 2 and she had started at nursery.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, I can do something.
Yeah.
So applied for the adult learning job.
Right.
Didn't get it.
Right.
Because I was incredibly slapdash with my application.
Right.
Literally put no qualifications down or anything.
Is that because you do you think subconsciously like you didn't want to, like, was there an element of, I guess, even though Lily was at nursery, like that's obviously still a lot of pressure on you and a lot of work for you, like was there like an apprehension of going back to work?
No, because it was term time only, part-time, so it was completely fitting around.
Okay, you were just just
being really slapdash on my
right,
application.
okay.
I just hand scribbled it, I think.
Okay.
And I remember going for the
interview. Post-it.
Yeah, I remember going for the interview. The interview went really well, and I didn't get it. Somebody else got it, and then probably 6 months later, the lovely Cheryl phoned me up and she said, "We'd really like to offer you a job."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh God, okay."
Had she interviewed you?
She'd interviewed me.
Right, yeah.
And I said, "That's lovely, thank you, but I'm pregnant with Alfie."
Okay.
And she said, "It's not a problem."
How pregnant were you?
So I think I must have been, I must have been about 3 months pregnant. I think we were telling people.
Right. Okay.
I think I must have started in maybe the February.
Yeah.
And she said, "That's fine. It's just."
Oh, and you had him in May.
August.
Oh, yeah.
He was in August.
Oops. Auntie's birthday memory blooper.
Yeah. She said, "It's fine. It's just purely data entry."
Right. Okay.
And it's only going to be a few months contract, so you can.
And it was in town.
Yeah, it's at school,
Yeah,
but
okay.
morning for school. So you can just come in and then just finish when the term finishes in July, and then obviously have Alfie. So I did that
in August.
Yeah. And so I went there, and she said, "Oh, we're really sad we didn't give you the job initially." She said, "But you didn't put any qualifications down on the application form, so we didn't know that you had your basic maths and English."
Oh, Lindsay.
I know. I don't think.
But I mean, that's it. Maybe that's what needed to happen.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. Again, it worked out as it
did,
needed
because
to.
I had Alfie.
Yeah.
And then they offered me a job.
Right.
After I'd had him.
Yeah.
I think it was probably a year later, maybe.
Yeah.
I went and worked there.
Yeah.
Part-time again, and then I was there for probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Working there part-time.
Right.
So that worked perfectly for me at that stage. So so essentially Lily was about 2.5 when I went back to work.
Yeah.
And then again I was out of the loop a bit more.
Yeah.
And then again I guess I was a bit lucky in my job after that. So I got made redundant from adult learning.
Right.
They streamlined all the services.
Yeah.
Closed a load of branches down.
Right.
And no, I didn't get made redundant. I left, actually.
Okay.
I didn't even go through the redundancy process. And got a job at Super Camps, which was, again, a bit of nepotism, but...
Yeah.
So...
Wow. But again, like fitting that in around for you, like the kids, essentially.
That was even more hectic. I mean, they were obviously quite a bit older then. Lily was 10 or so, I think. I think I worked there. No, she wasn't actually. That was 2011 I started working there, so she wouldn't have been 10. Anyway, however old she was.
Yeah.
They were at school.
Yeah.
I got some free hours at camp for
them both.
Yeah. While I was working there, so they could do that.
Yeah.
So again, I just sort of kind of went with the flow a little bit.
Yeah.
Doing what I could.
Around your other
around them
bits.
And with not much of a direction.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, so I guess that's, I mean, that whole kids not kids thing is some of where our differences come from, because I I went to college, went to university, and I guess I had done my gap year in research. And then when I finished university, I actually worked for Mum for a bit. I forgot that. Worked for Mum for a bit in the insurance company. Yeah. And then I got a job at the same place doing research again. And then from then, I guess I've always worked in research, but I've been able to, do kind of what I wanted and go where I wanted, and not really have anything limiting what I can do.
And your career has been a continuous.
It has, and there's been some diversions of like lab-based research, then moving into like clinical trials, and then I obviously had that job where I was like traveling all over the country, which was just crazy and hectic. But that was like the good money, company car, but too much travel and missing out on things like doing lots of overnight stays and not being able to do stuff.
Yeah.
But I've kind of had almost in my head of okay, where's the career progression going? So it's almost like a bit of a sideways step, I would say at the moment, but it feels good.
Yeah.
Like it feels,
and now that's just more because you've been out of work for such a long time.
I guess in some ways, so part of it is that, but also I think in my mind, I'd been saying for a lot. When I first got made redundant, I was like, I want to do something different. I want to, I want it to just be a bit different. I don't want to be, crying in the toilets at work.
It was quite corporate-y, wasn't it?
It was. Role. Yeah, and it's not a lie. I did cry a lot in the toilets at work, and I knew a lot of people that cried a lot in the toilets at work, and I'm like, this is not helpful.
No, it's not right.
That is not how you should be doing. And I don't think. I don't think there are lots of people who, they found their passion and they do a job that they love, so then it doesn't feel like work. There's never been anything for me that's been like that. So, but I've tried to do jobs where I've enjoyed them and not been just, this has got loads of money, I'm going to just do this job. But obviously it's tempting because when you've got a lot of expendable income, is that the word?
Disposable income.
Expendable. Yeah, disposable income. You don't have to be like, I can afford to treat people or do things, and so I guess it's trying to get that balance between having enough money to pay your bills and do some fun stuff, and not do a job that makes you want to pull your hair out or cry in the toilets. So I think this time around, I'm a bit more like, okay, as long as I've got the basics, and like my non-negotiable is like, as long as I can run my van, because I've got that to give me freedom, and and I've got a holiday that I can actually use it. There's no point having it if I can't go away anywhere. Then I'll make do, and I'll which is what I've done. Stop shopping in Waitrose.
Stop eating so many jam donuts.
Stop eating so many jam donuts. And I love. So I did some shopping in Lidl last night, and I got loads of food.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this price. Because I could go to Waitrose and buy like snacks for a day, and it would be the same as like 2 weeks worth of shopping in Lidl. Yeah. So I'm like, I love Lidl. Lidl on a Saturday night as well is well quiet. So yeah, I think in my mindset has changed. I think where I'm like, I'm open to new. And actually, so I had these two jobs that were offered, and one was like full time for 2. So they're all anything academic is like fixed term basically, which has got its own challenges, but it's kind of like just one of those things. Full-time job for like a year or 2 years, or a part-time with a strong likelihood of making it full-time, but like guaranteed it's part-time for 3 years with somebody that I've worked with before. So I kind of had those two options, and I guess on paper the full-time 2-year option should have been what I went for, and I ended up not going for that one because I wanted, I guess, something a bit different, because that job wasn't quite right for me. I felt like it could have been more on that, I'm crying in the toilets, and it was like a day a week in London, and so I was like, maybe this is a bit, it's a bit of a tricky decision, but maybe for me, like the sense of not the sensible, but like for what's good for me, like my mental health and whatever, is actually to go for the part-time option. And then it kind of got me thinking about old jobs, because I was like, if I do have to look for something else part-time, what could I do? And I was like, maybe if I just do some cleaning, and to go from like, I guess a manager position within a company to then be thinking, I'm doing some cleaning on the side. There's a bit of ego, pride involved, but then it's like, but there shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, I will have a bit more freedom probably,
and you'll be happier, less stress.
And I'll be happier. Yeah, exactly. So it's very interesting what an impact like working or not working has.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than like, aside from any financial things, the like well-being.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if I was rich, I could quite easily not work, or I'd like volunteer somewhere.
Do you think you could not work?
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, as much as I say I don't want to ever work again.
Well, I mean, I think I would do something, but I think in terms of like, I'd volunteer something.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to work, but I mean, as bad as it's been, the first few months, I was kind of like, I'm really enjoying like a relaxed waking up, taking the dog for a walk, maybe doing a bit of exercise. You know, I've spent what I have enjoyed and what I'm very grateful for is I've had time, you know, I've been able to spend time with you. I've been able to spend time with mum and dad. And see friends that, you know, are maybe working different situations or go and visit them and stuff. And so that I was really actually grateful for. Like for me, that was really good. But I mean, aside from the financial aspect of it, it's just a bit more of a relaxed, you know, thing. I don't have to clean on an evening. Like when I get home from work and I've had my dinner and walked the dog, last thing I want to do is clean the bathroom. And then on the weekends, which is probably when I should be doing, I'm like, well, this is my weekend. I don't want to be cleaning the bathroom.
Exactly.
No, so I mean, I do think I would have to do something, but I wouldn't need to work in a job.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still going to buy a lottery ticket because what?
No, that just I don't know. My head went off on a tangent there about a lottery ticket. Just something I watched on the telly yesterday.
Oh right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right.
We don't need to go there.
No. Okay.
Just me.
Because one thing that I had thought about is, if I'm looking for another part-time, if I've got to look for another part-time job, what could I do? Like aside, like there's cleaning or there's like office stuff. So then I was like, maybe I could do my Reiki.
Yeah.
Hire a room and do some Reiki. I'm not quite sure how, because I would love to like do something for myself, but I'm not like creative particularly, like, you know, so I'm like, what could I do? The Reiki thing, I don't know whether that would be a particularly good business model, but I was like, I want to do something with you. Let's set something up. And then I obviously went off on a ridiculous tangent because I was like, let's set up a shop. We'll sell things. I'll sell things that I like selling. Like not selling. I like buying. Salt lamps. Crystals. Incense sticks and holders. So then I started looking at commercial properties to buy.
But that one that you sent me, they've got tenants. So you'd have to kick the tenants out.
Oh, well, the other one in town is their old hairdressers, and that very handy.
Oh,
that's more expensive.
Is that to buy then?
Yeah,
the whole place is to buy.
Yeah, and it's got a flat above it, which is 2-bedroom. But I wouldn't live in it because it's got stairs, so it'd be no good to Nyla. But rent it out, and the shop. And so then I was like, really off on a tangent of I'm going to set up a shop and sell crystals.
Well, I said to you, I saw that there was that little cafe for sale, and I was half thinking about buying. I wasn't half thinking about buying it at all because I've got no money, but I was half thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'd quite like to buy that. Yeah, but my dream for a long time has been to open up a shake shop.
A shake shop.
Yeah, I want a milkshake shop. Does milkshakes and in the summer ice creams, because you can't go anywhere in Wallingford and buy a soft scoop ice cream.
No.
Nowhere does ice creams.
No.
In the summer, you've got people going down to the river.
Sweet shop, or is that just lollies?
I think they just do lollies, and they might do like tubs of ice cream.
Yeah.
You can't go and get like a scoop of mint chocolate chip from anywhere.
In a cone or in a tub or something.
Or a waffle cone.
Do you think they could work as a duo?
What? Crystal shop and a shake shop?
Or, do you think the incense would put people off?
I do.
Like, can I have a Oreo chocolate shake? And then you've got like a wafty
patchouli
in your thing. Yeah. That's why I thought that shop would be good, because it's got like a ground floor that can do the shakes. Then it had a middle floor that could sell all the stuff, and it had a top floor which would be Reiki and an aura reading. I've also been looking at aura cameras.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
How do you train to be an aura reader?
I'm not sure. There might be courses. Yeah. So I was basically looking at an aura camera.
We just need a lottery win, don't we?
We need a lottery win, but I think I am quite envious of people who work for themselves, and I'm sure there are lots of challenges. Like obviously you're the buck stops with you basically. Yeah. Depending on what you're doing, and obviously I've got friends who work for themselves, and I know it's not easy at all.
We'd be rubbish with the accounts side of things.
Yeah, but I think there's loads of software now that makes it really easy. But I think having that freedom, of actually being able to be like, okay, I'm not going to work this or what. But also more about like, you have that empowerment then of like, if I'm working really hard, you know, however hard I work, that's a reflection on my business. And, you know, it's not like, oh, you're working overtime or you're working in the, I feel like I'd work, if it was my own business, I'd work in the evenings or I'd work on the weekends because you're doing it for you and not to benefit the big man.
Yeah. And the other thing is that actually, if you are running your own business, you're doing something that you love.
Yes.
At the end, ultimately, it's something that you want to do because that's why you've done it.
Yeah, and that always makes it easier to do. I mean, I certainly don't live to work. No. Sorry, anyone listening who I've worked for in the past, or I might work for in the future. I don't. But maybe if actually, even if it was like a passion project, I don't think it's healthy to be working 24/7 because you know what are you missing out on? Like, what are you earning all this money for? Like,
I suppose there is more pressure on you if you're doing something you love and it's your own business. There is more pressure on you to work more though, because it is your responsibility. The wages coming from you.
Yes.
So you get out what you put into it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So there is that pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm disciplined enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's like I say, it's not. I'm not like. It doesn't have its challenges or negatives, but I am quite envious sometimes of people who have their own business or doing something. I guess maybe it's just that they're doing something that they love, and I haven't ever found something that I love.
Because obviously I set up Lulu Burton Nail as well, didn't I?
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, where did that come from? Can you remember, like, what made you do that?
I got a little bit of money given to me. I think when Grandad died,
right,
Mum gave us a little bit of money each.
Did she?
Tiny bit.
Did she just give it to you?
No, she gave it to me for that. And I bought my Cricut machine and then decided to make stuff.
Right.
And I didn't love it. I wasn't in love with doing it. I really enjoyed doing it. But yeah, and so actually I have made the decision to close it down.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Just because I just haven't got the energy for doing it anymore.
No, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you work, you've still got a child at home, and
it's a lot of work to bring the business in.
Yeah.
For not a lot of profit
return.
At all.
Yeah.
Like, I could put my stuff on Etsy for peanuts and get lots in.
Yeah. But it's creating a lot of work.
Exactly. I would be working at a loss ultimately, I think. I certainly wouldn't be paid for my time.
No.
You know, I'm charging like £6-8 for a cake topper.
Yeah.
Which can take me a few hours to make.
Yeah.
And you've got people on Etsy that are doing them for like £3.
Yeah. And actually when you convert that to an hourly rate.
Yeah. For me, that's like £30.
Yeah.
At work.
Yeah.
And I'm getting £6 for it.
Yeah.
And I haven't got the time to put that effort into getting the business in either.
No.
So yeah, I think I've decided I'm going to fold.
Oh, that's a shame.
Lulu Burton now. Yeah, it is a bit sad. I mean, I still do, like, I know people will come to me and say, "Can you do this?" And which is kind of what I'm just doing at the moment, really.
Yeah.
Doing odd bits and pieces every now and then. Yeah. But then, having said that, I've just taken on another job.
Have you?
Yes, I've just accepted a volunteering role.
Okay. What for?
Well, I'm not going to say just.
Okay. Okay.
So obviously PTA.
Oh, yeah, the PTA. Yeah.
Got that. And I'm just taking on a volunteering role.
Okay.
That is going to be quite time consuming. I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be.
Is it like Is it seasonal?
It's for an event.
Oh, okay.
Which is at the end of the summer.
Okay. But will you be working on it throughout the year? Or is it
there'll be a lot of work between now and probably July time.
Right, okay.
Then not quite so much work in between then and the event.
It'll all have to be done.
It'll all be done.
Okay.
So
exciting.
yeah, it's quite interesting. That's going to be quite fun. So yeah, we'll see how that goes this year.
Okay, so
I mean, if I don't like it, then I'll just do it for this year and then say, actually, it's not for me.
Yeah. So you've got a lot on your plate. You've got even more on your plate.
Got even more on your plate,
But that, I mean, potentially, I mean, that's the thing. Like doing something like that. Obviously, that's amazing for your CV, and you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
While you're doing that. So what opportunities might come from?
Yeah. And I've been very keen to get back into like events work.
Right.
And had a couple of interviews for events jobs, which I haven't got because I haven't got
recent event
experience.
Right.
So it will be good for myself. Not that ultimately this is what I'm wanting to do.
No.
But and I wanted, I thought in an ideal world, if I was working and being paid for working, I would really like to do events work for a charity.
Yeah.
That's where I would like to be doing something a bit worthwhile. So in view of not being able to do that, actually volunteering for, it's not for a charity, but volunteering for a community event, I felt was quite worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing.
Yeah, good.
Well done.
So that's quite exciting.
Yeah.
But I did say to you, didn't I, that I thought I hadn't got the job at all.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I've not got it. I didn't sell myself particularly. I did sell myself, for the job.
Yeah.
But I sort of veered off on a bit of a tangent about what my skills were.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, they're not interested in me at all. Absolutely no. So I had actually completely forgotten about it.
Right.
And then got the email this morning.
So it was
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
Yeah, and then I had an email from this morning. I was like,
that's amazing.
Oh.
Go you.
I didn't even read it properly. I just read the top that said, we really enjoyed meeting you. We really enjoyed meeting you. And then I scanned down and was like, we'd like you to do this. And I was like, oh damn it. I sort of like resigned myself to the fact that I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no, but that's good. Yeah.
I think that's really, really good. And I think all of these things, whenever something like that, like it gives you a boost. It gives you, a bit of a confidence. Like you've had, aside from like having to do your CV, doing the, having the interview, and then it's just a nice little morale
Well, it is,
booster,
considering, like I say, I feel like my career side of things, I'm not stalled a little bit in where I can go with my. So actually, it's quite nice to know that actually the skills that I have got, they thought would be useful to them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and I suppose that is I can imagine might be quite a similar scenario for lots of mothers who have got child caring, looking up where the responsibilities are largely on a mother, that it does make things harder.
I sort of feel like if you're in a sort of, I don't want to say a nothingy role. I can't think of, like, unless you're in a profession.
Yeah.
For a lot of mums, it's quite hard to slot back in. If you've been in a role and then taken some time out, I feel it is quite hard sometimes to slot back in. I know obviously loads of people who have changed careers after having kids because it has to fit in. And that's sort of why I keep saying to Lily to just, I mean, obviously she doesn't really want kids. She doesn't necessarily want kids.
Right.
But I say to her, get your degree behind you.
Yeah.
Get a job and get some experience. And then if you want to have kids, have your kids. Because then if you go back to it, because I definitely feel like the fact that I haven't got any qualifications over my GCSEs was a massive hindrance for me.
Yeah.
Whilst I've got a lot of work experience, I do feel like the lack of qualifications has held me back.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just me personally feeling like that or whether that is actually the case.
Yeah.
If I went into a job and I got an event management degree, are they going to look at me more favourably even though I haven't had an event management job for God knows how many years?
Yeah.
So that's why I say to her, you've got to, get your degree, get yourself a job, get some experience, and then if you want to have kids, and then you've got that.
Yeah. Because I think what you've said like make sense. And because I've known a lot of like very, very senior women who can, you know, go off on maternity leave and, you know, and take like a full year off. Some of them aren't taking very much time at all, and you're like, what? But some of them are taking a full year off, and then they're literally coming back into their, you know, VP position or whatever, and they can do that. Whereas in other roles, I can imagine it might not be as easy.
I mean, there's a whole different conversation about the practicalities of mothers going back to work, but we won't talk about that. There's lots of stuff.
Oh yeah,
really, challenging. I mean, in lots of elements. Yeah,
I think certainly. Well, yeah, not, but like on the finance side, isn't it? It's like, is it actually? Am I worse off going back to work? And in some cases, and that's crazy that somebody would be worse off going back to work with all the like childcare, you know, fees. But yeah, that's an entirely different conversation.
Yeah. But, well, we've had a good week, haven't we?
We have had a good week.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a celebration on Friday.
We did celebrate Friday night.
Celebrated hard.
We did celebrate hard.
But yeah, so I'm really pleased that you got that, and I'm excited to be starting my.
Yeah. So when's your first proper day?
I don't know. So I had said I could start as soon as possible. So it really just depends how quickly I think they can get a contract set up and over to me. But yeah, I'm excited. And working with somebody that I used to work with, it's like, this is going to be nice. Yeah. This is going to be fun. I know her. We know each other.
Yeah, you know how you work.
I know how she. I know how she works.
Yeah,
she knows how I work, and it's just an exciting. It's a nice start to 2025.
It's actually quite a nice, after having a gap, after having some time off out of work.
Yeah.
Even though it's been 6 months, not years. Even though it's only been 6 months, actually it's quite a nice. You've not got that real nervousness of going into a completely new job, in a completely new place with people you don't know. Yeah. You're going back in, so actually, however long that, you know, obviously you're on a contract, so you're there for a certain period. Yeah. When that's finished, actually you won't then have that. Oh God, I've got to ease back into working again.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think if it had been the case of going back into something full time, like completely different environment, completely different people, it would be a massive shell shock because it is going to be a shock. It is going to be a shock working again because I have had a lot of free time.
Yeah,
but
that was good. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, you.
Thank you. Well done, us.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's just win the lottery so I can get my small holding shake shop
and crystal. I can get my crystal shop.
Yes.
Crystal salt lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right then.
Right. See you later.
Bye. Bye.